This is a national editorial, and it's regarding the trillions of dollars Congress wants to pass for an infrastructure plan. And it's not true. The plan is to give their people's money through the government, and that's it. I'm not going to sit here and go and look for it, but that's what's happening. The bottom line is this. The COVID emergency has been ran by a bunch of buffoons in the United States. The fact that we've given them $3 or $4 trillion to combat the virus, and we are still at step one, means that we don't need to approve any congressional bills until Joe Biden either quits, is impeached, or when there's a new president. The reason I'm saying that is because you would think with the $3 or $4 trillion that they've already spent, we would have, number one, the truth, number two, better information without YouTubing, censoring, and taking down doctors' videos. But instead it's the complete opposite, as if they're the government. They're the decider of who gets what information. The bottom line is we are way too long in this pandemic, and there's a reason for it. If we would have not locked down in the beginning, or just locked down for 15 days, and weathered the storm of getting COVID and then having immunity, I believe we might be in a better spot than crying about an elixir or a vaccine that, in my opinion, isn't bulletproof. Now, what's funny is all these people that are pro-vaxxers going on Twitter telling others what to do with their body, while at the same time, they're pro-abortion people. Look, if you think that killing a baby is just through abortion, that's fine. Your ticket to hell is in the mail, if that's what you believe. And it's a front row seat, all of you, especially the Democrats that don't believe in religion anyway. If you really believe that destroying a baby that has no ability to speak out, that it's okay to do it unlimited, like I said, your ticket to hell is in the mail, and you will get that ticket eventually. If that's what you believe, then that's your destination. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you think that I'm being a little drastic, I think you're being a little bit drastic for being a supporter of abortion, thinking it's okay to destroy a baby, at the same time telling me what to do with my body, when you don't even know the science or you're not even a doctor. Dr. Fauci's committed perjury multiple times. I'm not sure when Dr. Paul should start waterboarding Dr. Fauci, but I think the waterboard would be efficient because we need to find out the bottom line. Dr. Fauci's the one who's responsible for the pandemic because they did finance gain of research, and it was created through MERS and other viruses. Now, my beef right now is what happens to a person that gets contracted the illness when they get it from a person who's beetle waxed. Now, this is the second time that I felt dizzy and grossed out. The last time was in February when they opened up the Texas crossings and the beetle wax was just rolling out. And my body's fighting against it right now because my immunity is trying to hold out on this virus that was created by the CCP lab and our tax dollars and Dr. Fauci under the Obama administration. Those that say that he was such a great president, he was the worst president of all time next to George W. Bush and Joe Biden. Jimmy Carter was a step better than Barack Hussein Obama. I want to say you guys don't have an idea on how to help people at $4 trillion. If I get sick, I should be able to go to the pharmacy and go and get a couple of therapeutics, but there's nothing for me. It's either I get the beetle wax and do what you tell me or else. Now in New Zealand, the Ardern administration has actually admitted that they've separated classes of people, those that are beetle waxed and those that are not beetle waxed. So that just gives me the more know of what's happening. I want to say that we're being run by New Zealand and an area of Australia. I wouldn't call it the invasion of the body snatchers, but it has something to do with that thesis, why everyone is so paranoid of their life as if it means something. When human beings are taught that there is an afterlife, we shouldn't be afraid. But it just seems like everybody's just in a panic mode because they're all parasite-minded people. The beetle wax is not an elixir. The beetle wax is not going to save your life. The beetle wax is not going to help not prevent getting someone else ill. You're just telling that to people because it's already bought and paid for under a government contract. Mr. President, what are we going to do about gas prices? I don't know. Mr. President, what are we going to do about COVID if someone gets sick? I don't know. Mr. President, we have therapeutic drugs that we could help and give people prescribed if they get sick. What should we do about that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The President of the United States sucks because I don't know. Look, if you didn't know, what the fuck did you do even running in the first place, you prick? I want to start off by saying that your kid's paintings valued at $200,000. I know what he's painting. I know why people want his paintings for that despicable price. I have a thesis why he's painting what he's painting. And you guys are being dishonest about this. You're being dishonest because the war on drugs has conquered the United States by influencing the brains and minds of our leaders to the point where the only thing they care about is that open border and getting their shit, and how they're going to pay for it is through the government contracts. I'm not going to bullshit you anymore. This is why the government wants to pass the $3 trillion. The money goes to their constituency. Then they use that black money to go double deal. They go buy their product from the open border, and then they go sell it on their streets. All the leaders have an outfit that are doing this. The dishonest ones. There are some honest ones, but this has been going on since the Bush administration and the 9/11 attacks, when that money was first appropriated. The parasite mind only cares about his dope. That's why he was crying so bad when Donald Trump closed the border, because he was freaking out. You guys are a bunch of dope heads, drug addicts. Just look at Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris and how they act, how they tweak, how they look. It's pathetic. We're run by drug dealers, a drug war state. The drugs also lowered the immunity in people, mixing the shit in with the Venezuelan Maduro product. Lowered your immunity when they flooded it in Florida. Of course they were going to sell it. Their constituents got the money. Then it goes to the Hunter Bidens, then to the strippers. And then they go and siphon it. They make money off this. They take the government money to go double deal and then allow the drug dealers on the Texas crossings to be manipulating our population now. It's all parasitical minded set. All of them. Our government is run by parasitical mindsets. There's no ideas on how to solve the COVID emergency. Thus, I don't know. The president doesn't know. If he doesn't know, then we're not giving you no more money. I mean, zero money. I'm asking Congress not to pass any infrastructure plan until, number one, these gas prices go down. Number two, till you guys come up with a national plan on therapeutics when people get sick. Look, if you're going to mail me my ballot in the mail, you need to mail me temperature checks and COVID tests in the mail. Every 2 months, we need to have this equipment in the mail. It's not a difficult solution. It doesn't take a private citizen to come up with an idea for free when you have $4 trillion to work with. And AOC's going on Instagram high on coke, trying to tell us what to not do with our bodies when they're trying to tell us what to do with our bodies. Are you fucking kidding me? The president doesn't know the gas prices, the COVID emergency. He doesn't know. I don't know. Mr. President, are we going to ever get over the national pandemic? I don't know. Well, you don't know because you don't have an idea on how to get out of it. There's no therapeutics. There's no doctors. There's nothing simple. Everything is so difficult and so expensive that there is no more money to lend Congress for their dope dealing. We need to close the dope dealing government spending. We need to close it down once and for all. And these dealers that are bringing in their crap from Peru, Colombia, and Venezuela through Mexico, you need to stop bringing in your shit to the United States or face consequences. The war on drugs that George H. Bush, you guys all were laughing about it, but it was a real serious issue, and no one discusses how the parasite drug dealer became our government and our congressional leaders like Nancy Pelosi, like Kamala Harris. I mean, just look at them. Look how they speak. Look how they act. They have no solutions to the national emergency. I don't know. How much more can the American people take having leaders that don't know when they do know? The only reason why the Texas crossings continue is so they can continue their drug dealing in their districts. It has nothing to do with bringing in people for freedom. If they cared so much about freedom, they would knock off the dictators that are creating this mess and have free elections with our National Guard protecting the ballot box, because we are the United States of America and we could easily do that. Knock off these dictators and regimes by force and then establish free elections. If you don't like that idea, go back and live in the Soviet Union where you came from. All of you. The Cold War has been brought to us thanks to our leaders that have no ability to make a difference when they got $4 trillion to work with. And they're asking for us to pass another bill when the bill is not only lopsided, but they just don't know. They don't know if it's going to lower gas prices. In fact, as soon as that bill is passed and all that government money goes for those projects, the first thing that's going to be happening is gas is going to be going up because that money's already been appropriated for 2 or 3 years, and those companies are going to want to get as much money as they can. The government needs to stop deficit spending. The government needs to stop these unnecessary infrastructure bills that are not really infrastructure. You need to start giving money to the states so the states can spend on the municipalities to start changing our society and infrastructure one city at a time, so it's a climate-friendly city without Nancy Pelosi and her drug-dealing fascist Democratic caucus. Close the Texas crossings already. President Biden, where the fuck is your resignation? I don't know. Well, where is his impeachment, Mr. McCarthy, for breaching his trust 4 times? I don't know. Well, if you don't know, then there is no more people's money for your I don't know policy. And you can write that down. YouTube.com, Jamestown, California, for Sunday's national editorial.